Mensah, from corporate maverick to quirky brand architect, and she's even got a book which is by the same sort of title there. Ex-corporate brand strategist turned champion of the underseen, Lily empowers independent practitioners and professionals to build sparkling brands through coaching, emceeing, and her Work Your QUIRKs book series. With over 20 years' experience, she's armed with battle-tested tools, including AI wizardry to help you claim your spotlight, banish invisibility, and build a career you adore. Ready to shine? Let Lily make your brand sparkle. Lily, up to you.
Good morning. Or is it morning? Morning still? Afternoon. Afternoon, Bromley. How are you doing?
Good.
Great. Listen, last week, Sunday gone, I know we're all feeling really, really low. And I remember watching Wimbledon and thinking the Spaniards have won it. God, please, they can't win 2 things in one day. And who actually watched the whole match?
Tennis or
Football. Football is the one. Football is the one I'm talking about. Football. Okay. I must admit, I went to bed early, halfway through, because my nerves couldn't take it. And I don't know who you think the man of the tournament or the man. People are talking about Saka. I think Pickford, the goalkeeper, was for me. He's so emotional in that box, and it's like, my son, please do not let the ball go in. But enough about that. Yes, I am your quirky MC, so I'm bringing a bit of MC skills here. And I used to work in corporate for about 20 years. And I've been working a long time, that shows. And I remember having worked across the UK, Africa, United States, and quite big companies, that you would blue chip companies. And when I left corporate, I came home to Bromley. I've lived in Bromley for over 25 years, but I thought I'm going to bring my corporate stuff into UK and help entrepreneurs. And I had met some amazing people who were passionate about their businesses. And I brought what I would call marketing strategy and all the big fancy words that corporate does. Who's worked in corporate before? All those acronyms and the thing. Mr. Mayor has as well. Those things and I remember I got a job as a marketing consultant with a company just down the road. Anybody who's old enough, who's worked in Bromley, will remember Business Focus. And they used to do business development for local businesses. So I was working for them. And I remember the boss at the organisation called me one day. He said, Lily, you're doing brilliantly. I love the energy, the idea that you're bringing into Bromley. I think you can do a lot better if you bring down the corporate speak a little bit. You'll engage more with people. And that was one of the best advice I got from somebody who didn't have to basically pay me to go and do my work, but he called me to one side and gave me that advice. I have tried to now, bring down the corporate speak and speak generally. I haven't quite succeeded all the time, but for me, it has been amazing. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about my journey as an entrepreneur, living in Bromley, working in Bromley, and working everywhere else. So when I was in corporate, I did have the privilege of working with techies. And when Chandra introduced me as having AI wizardry, I was working back in, I say Y2K. Who remembers Y2K? Mm-hmm. Yeah, and how everything was going to just die and all our computers were going to die. And I had to I was working with people, the group was called Advanced Technology. And their job was to understand what was going on. They were techies, they were trained as techies, and I was their knowledge manager. As a knowledge manager, you don't have to know exactly what's going on, but you need to have a lay understanding of what the people are saying. And my job was to just rinse it and repeat it to somebody else, somebody who was a layperson. And it all comes down to communication. I had to learn how to communicate, sort of take the really big fancy words. If you're in technology, you know things like pair programming and stuff like that. And I used to go, we have clients all over the UK, and I had to go to client site and sit and literally listen and ask questions. And I'm good at really asking questions, because if I'm thinking it, somebody else is thinking it in the room. And I don't care about looking stupid if I don't know I'm going to ask it. And that's one of the rules, the things that I always take with me. Ask that question, because it's likely somebody else doesn't know what you're going to ask. So I applied that the marketing and brand. And I remember this organization that I was working for was an accounting firm. Of course, do I know anything about accounting? No, but I know that in order for an accountant to stand out, the work I have done in the marketing department, by the way, I jumped from knowledge manager to marketing, because after a while I thought technology is not really for me, I've done enough. So I jumped, and I was supposed to go to another department and go and work with a marketing team. And that's why I got my stripes. Whilst I was at work, I actually did my marketing course in this building. When it was Bromley College. Those who remember, this was Bromley College, and I did my marketing courses here through the Chartered Institute of Marketing, and got whatever degrees I was supposed to get there, I got them. But marketing is different if you're running a business. You are at the front of the door. Your name is at the front of the door, and people buy people. And good old Jeff Bezos said, your brand is what people say about you when you're not in the room. And I think that it's actually your signature perfume, or aftershave. There's a good gentleman in the room. Aftershave, because if it lingers long after you've left, and if we're not promoting our personal brands, we are actually doing our businesses a disservice. So that's where being the one working with people to be seen in a different way. And over the years, I have used, people say, oh, but how can Lily be so into AI so quickly? Curiosity is what will one day kill me, not the cat. I'm curious. I'm like, everybody, when it came, everybody was scared about it about a year now that AI has taken over our lives. But it's been part of our lives for a long time now. More and more people are talking about it. I use AI, and I'm a proud user of AI. It's not cheating, it's helping us do our work faster, quicker, and I call AI, or other elements of AI, my strategic thinking partner. Because it's like, there's no longer that blank sheet of paper where you start from the beginning. No, AI will never take away my voice and the way I want to write. And I have used that to create things for my clients in what, maybe 10 times more stuff, generated 10 times more stuff quicker. But then the client has asked me, how did you turn this around so quick? And I said, because I have an idea what I'm going to do, and the AI just helps me do it quicker. It's like having a cutlass and a mower. The cutlass will just, you'll be there using it on the grass and breaking your back, but the mower will just go right through. It won't do it for you, but you have to guide it to do it for you. So I use it very well. Now, having spoken at places like Space Coast in Florida, all the way down to the Broadway in Catford. I thought you said the Broadway in Catford. I've also learned that speaking in front of people, especially as entrepreneurs, that's one of the ways that we can be more visible, and my work is around visibility. I use also what I call the key themes from my Ghanaian background, which is around the Adinkra symbols. And the three things that I bring in there are Sankofa, which is going back to your roots and honoring my ancestors. Collaboration is also very strong in the work that I do. I collaborate with many people on a lot of projects because we are a family of businesses and we can't do it all by ourselves, otherwise burnout will happen. So another thing I would recommend that people do is find ways to collaborate with other people who might even have the same, might be in branding, might be in communication, might be in IT, but there's one thing about you that you do better than the person sitting next to you. And in collaborating with one another, we'll be able to do more. So why work your quirks? And how did the quirks come in? The quirks are about, it's something that it's a blueprint that I have created for personal branding. The Q is for quality. So, badge everything that you do with quality. U is for unique and believing in the higher power, your uniqueness. We've all been made in a way that we are not the same as the other person. So we're all unique and we bring something else to the table. I, in the quirk, is integrity. What you believe in. And don't sell yourself because the money is good. Or, secondly, don't go, you might be very popular, right? And people will come to you very popular, but they don't want to pay you. Why are you in business if you're giving so much for free? So, remember, being popular is one thing. Being popular with cha-ching next to it is why we're all here. Let's be honest about it. So if somebody asks you to do something, what are it doesn't have to be money, but what are you going to get from it? Because free means that they're not valuing your service, especially those of us in the service industry. R is to be realistic with our time and our resources. The last time I checked, 24 hours in the day, it hasn't moved, it hasn't got bigger, but it helps us all to do so much of being realistic with our resources. That's where time, money, and all of that come in. And the last one, as a leader, we're all leaders here, leading our businesses. We need to be kind to ourselves. Shout out the things that we do well and tell other people about it. Let's not be shy, let's not be too British. Let's be slightly American about it. And, shout it out. It's called humble bragging. And also being kind to yourself allows you to say, give yourself a pat on the back. So that's what the quirk means, and I have used that all over everything that I've badged it. So it's finding your unique promise of value that will help sell you and then your business, because we're all micro businesses. My work as an MC started a lot of people have probably seen me here. I'm a mistress of ceremonies. That's my job. And when I'm in the room, my clients are everybody. It doesn't matter who's paying the bill. My job is to make sure that the day goes well. Everybody gets what they need from it. Even the speakers who will come with gisters onto the stage, I work with them. By the time they climb those steps and got onto the stage, their nerves are down. Work with the event organizers to make sure that whatever needs to be done on the day, we've prepped in advance. And it may look easy, but it's not. It's about preparation before. The guests who are there have come to listen to people. The guests who are there also maybe they haven't got food. And so I can go and look for the event organizer and say, oh, this table has, of course, I don't cook the food. I do cook, but I have to make sure the food gets to the right place. Guests of honor are also looked after, because once they're there, they've taken time out of their very busy schedules to come and grace us with their presence. Why are they not being looked after to make sure that they're okay? So it's all those things that come together. That's why I love my job as a Mistress of Ceremonies. And that's a quick plug. If you need anyone to promote, to host your event, come and call me. Don't call anybody else. I'm there to change the idea that only a certain type of person can grace your event. I'm there and I can tell you, I look the way I am because I am the greatest thing that God ever made, because I am only me. I'm only me. And I bring something else to the table. So what can I leave you with? We are our ancestors' greatest achievements. And we have to shine every day. We need to understand that if every time we wake up, we are present, it means that we've been given another opportunity to shine. And I remember writing a bio for a friend of mine. Well, my clients then become friends. And she asked me out about 2-3 months ago when she was now in town. I wrote that bio about 10 years ago when she was opening the very first female radio station in Nigeria. Nigeria has 280 million people, and she was the first woman. She needed a bio to be written. I like to write. I like to bring your promise onto paper, whether it's paper, email, whatever, so that you can send it to somebody else. And I said, she said, you know what, I'm still using that bio. I said, it must be very old. She said, no, Lily, do you know what? You gave me the core things in there, and I just updated with my achievements. It is about reminding yourself every day of your achievements. So my name is Lily Naadu Mensah. Thank you for listening to me, and may everything that you wish for be the least that you receive. Thank you.